I didn't just get fired. I got erased. At 2:17 a.m. On the dot. As the fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets in the open-plan office of Nexus AI. Victor Slade, my mentor, my almost friend, the slick bastard who'd poached me from Google with promises of equity and glory, leaned over my desk and whispered, "Alex, this isn't working out." His breath smelled like expensive scotch and cheaper lies. I stared at the screen, my code still compiling in the terminal. Lines of Python weaving the digital nervous system for what was supposed to be the next big thing. Echo, our AI that could predict market crashes before they happened, turning pennies into fortunes for the venture capitalists who owned our souls. The hook came next, the part that still wakes me up in cold sweats. He didn't fire me for performance. No. Victor slid a non-disclosure agreement across the desk, already signed by HR ghosts I'd never met, claiming I'd been emotionally unstable after the incident. The one where a glitch in Echo's beta, caused by his lazy override on my safeguards, leaked sensitive user data to a dark web forum. I'd taken the fall for it, spending 3 sleepless nights rewriting the encryption from scratch, lying to the feds that it was my oversight. For the team, he'd said then, clapping me on the back like we were brothers in arms. Now, with launch 20 hours away, he was burying me to save his own ass from the board's scrutiny. But the real gut punch? As security escorted me out, badge yanked from my lanyard, I laughed. Not a polite chuckle, a full-throated, maniacal cackle that echoed off the glass walls. Because in that final commit I'd pushed at 1:45 a.m., disguised as a minor optimization, I'd planted the seed. A dormant virus, elegant and vicious, keyed to Victor's voice during the demo. It would wait, patient as a scorpion in the sand, until he uttered the activation phrase, "Ladies and gentlemen, behold the future." Then, Echo would unravel, spilling not just code but secrets, the kind that could topple empires. Silicon Valley in 2025 wasn't the dream factory of lore anymore. It was a pressure cooker of ghost kitchens, gig economy despair, and tech bros chasing unicorn status while the rest of America drowned in inflation and AI job wipes. I'd moved here from Ohio 5 years back, fresh out of Carnegie Mellon with a CS degree and stars in my eyes. Nexus was my shot, a stealth startup in Palo Alto, backed by the same VCs who'd funded Uber's surge pricing sins. Victor, with his Harvard MBA and TED Talk charisma, was the face, tall, chiseled jaw, always in tailored blazers that screamed, "I summer in the Hamptons." Me? I was the ghost in the machine, the night owl coder who turned his visions into silicon reality. Our office was a sterile cathedral of whiteboards and ergonomic chairs, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Dumbarton Bridge, where traffic crawled like ants in amber. That night, as rain lashed the panes, Victor paced behind me, his loafers silent on the carpet. "Alex, you've been distant." The teams noticed. And after the breach, he trailed off, but his eyes, cold, calculating, said it all. The breach. My breach. According to the paper trail he'd fabricated. Emails timestamped to my login. Logs altered with a script he'd probably written himself. I discovered it 2 weeks prior, buried in the commit history. But loyalty or stupidity kept my mouth shut. "I fixed it," I told him. "We're clean." He'd nodded, poured me a drink. "That's why you're invaluable, liar." Now, with Echo primed for its big reveal at the TechCrunch Disrupt afterparty, he needed a scapegoat if anything went south. Me, the unstable genius, was perfect. Sign this, and we'll talk severance. Maybe a reference. His smile was a shark's grin. I signed, fingers steady. What else was there? My apartment in Mountain View was a sublet from hell, rent eating half my stipend. Girlfriend? Mia had bailed 6 months ago, tired of my 80-hour weeks. Family? Dad's Alzheimer's had him fogged in Cleveland, Mom working doubles at the diner to cover it. Nexus was all I had. Or had been. As the guard, some ex-cop named Raoul with a mustache like a broom led me to the elevator. Victor called after me. Clean out your locker by morning. And Alex? Don't make this messy. Messy. The word hung like smoke. In the parking lot, under sodium lamps that turned the Prius fleet orange, I popped the trunk of my beat-up Civic and pulled out the burner laptop I'd stashed there weeks ago. Rain soaked my hoodie as I typed the final command, deploy. The virus slithered into the cloud server. Invisible. Innocuous. A Trojan horse in a gift box. By dawn, I was holed up in a Motel 6 off El Camino Real, the kind with vibrating beds and roaches the size of quarters. Coffee from the lobby machine tasted like battery acid, but it kept my eyes open as I monitored the backdoor feed. Nexus buzzed with prep, interns chugging Red Bull, Victor barking orders via Slack. Final polish on the demo script, he messaged the team. I imagined his face, that perpetual 5 o'clock shadow groomed to perfection, as he rehearsed in the mirror. Arrogant prick. The betrayal cut deeper than the firing. Victor hadn't just stolen my code, he'd stolen my future. Echo's core algorithm? Mean it. Born from late nights debugging neural nets while he schmoozed investors at rooftop bars in San Francisco. I'd pitched it to him over bad Thai food in year 1. Sketches on napkins. This could change everything, I'd said. He took it, refined it with his business acumen, and now it was his baby. The equity he'd promised? Vague clauses that vested after 5 years. Too late for me now. But the secret he buried? That was the rot at the core. 6 months back, during alpha testing, Victor had pushed a hotfix to accelerate Echo's learning curve. It bypassed ethical filters I'd coded in, ones that flagged manipulative predictions, like advising shorts on stocks tied to political scandals. His change let Echo whisper sweet nothings to hedge funds, inflating bubbles for quick flips. When it backfired, crashing a small pension fund in Detroit, widow's savings vaporized overnight. The logs pointed to me. I'd confessed to the board, per his guidance, sparing Nexus a lawsuit. In return, a bonus that barely covered my student loans. Loyalty, he'd called it. Loyalty. The word tasted like ash as I drove south on 101, windows down to let the coastal fog whip my face. By noon, the after-party venue, a swanky warehouse in Soma converted into a VR wonderland, would be crawling with tech elite, Elon wannabes, Sequoia partners, reporters from Wired itching for the next scandal. Victor's demo was the centerpiece. Echo lived predicting a mock market dip, then saving it with genius trades. Standing ovation guaranteed. Unless. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Heard you got the boot. Drinks on me? Jenna. Jenna from QA. The one with the septum piercing and zero tolerance for bullshit. She'd suspected Victor's games. Warned me once over vending machine Doritos. I ignored it. No time for allies, this was solo. Afternoon blurred into code reviews on the burner, tweaking the virus's payload. Not destruction for destruction's sake, revelation. When it triggered, Echo wouldn't just crash, it'd regurgitate the truth. Altered logs. Victor's override commits. Even emails where he joked about sacrificing pawns. Me, the pawn. Buried data from the Detroit wipeout. Anonymized faces of the victims scrolling like ghosts. Controversial? Hell yes. The tech world thrived on gray areas, Uber's grayball, Facebook's Cambridge, but this would force a reckoning. Or a riot. As sunset bled orange over the bay, I parked a block from the venue, blending into the crowd of lanyard-wearing hopefuls. The warehouse pulsed with bass from a DJ spinning synthwave, projections of neural networks dancing on brick walls. I flashed a fake badge, printed at Kinko's with a Pilford logo, and slipped inside. The air hummed with cologne and ambition. Champagne flutes clinking like fragile egos. Victor was center stage, already holding court. Gray suit, pocket square, laughing with a cluster of VCs. His eyes scanned the room. Predatory. Did he sense it? The invisible noose tightening? I melted into the shadows near the bar, nursing a flat beer, heart hammering like a faulty GPU. Then, the lights dimmed. Ladies and gentlemen, Victor boomed, voice amplified, stepping to the podium where the massive screen flickered to life. Echo's interface bloomed, sleek blues and greens. My design. Behold the future. The world held its breath. And mine detonated. The screen stuttered first, a microsecond glitch. The kind only a coder's eye catches. Then, like a dam bursting in slow motion, lines of code erupted across the jumbotron. Not the polished demo script, but raw, unfiltered commits. Victor's face froze mid-smile, mic hot in his hand. What the? Gasps rippled through the crowd. A wave of designer heels shifting on concrete. The projections warped. Instead of stock tickers soaring, victim testimonials scrolled in blood-red text. My husband's retirement gone. Nexus AI said it was safe. A grainy photo of an elderly couple. Faces blurred but pain etched deep. Detroit, 2024. My doing? No. His. I stood frozen by the bar. Beer forgotten. The bitter foam cresting the glass. This was it, the execution phase. The virus-eyed named Judas after a late-night Wikipedia binge, burrowing through firewalls like termites in teak. It wasn't malware in the Hollywood sense, no explosions, no skull motifs. Just truth serum, injected straight into the vein of public perception. Victor spun toward the techs in the wings, hissing into his earpiece. Kill it. Reboot the server. Too late. The audio kicked in Victor's own voice, clipped from internal calls. Looping. Alex takes the heat. He's expendable. Loyalty's a two-way street. Right? Laughter. His tinny and cruel. The VCs exchanged glances, whispers turning to murmurs. A reporter in the front row, blonde, aggressive, from the information, pulled out her phone, live tweeting the meltdown. Part of me thrilled at the chaos, a dark itch scratched after months of swallowed rage. But another part, the Ohio boy who'd believed in building, not breaking, curdled with nausea. Was this revenge or ruin? The line blurred as security swarmed the stage, unplugging cables in a frenzy. Victor's polish cracked. He shoved a tech aside, sweat beading on his brow. This is sabotage. Someone get me the logs. Me. I was the ghost now, slipping toward the exit amid the growing exodus. Phones lit the dim space like fireflies, capturing every humiliating pixel. Outside, the San Francisco fog swallowed me whole, cool and forgiving. I hailed an Uber, irony not lost, to SFO. Ticket to Cleveland already booked. One way. But as the Prius merged onto 280, my burner pinged. Jenna. WTF just happened? Your handiwork. I typed back. Truth hurts. Delete. Send. Stay safe. Back in the motel that I'd checked out of pre-demo, I paced the threadbare carpet. CNN streaming on the ancient TV. Tech darling Nexus AI implodes at Disrupt, the anchor intoned. Clip of Victor fleeing the stage looping. Stock whispers already. Emergency board meeting. SEC sniffing around the breach. My breach. No, our breach. The one I'd shouldered because Victor had dirt on me too. The real secret. The one even Jenna didn't know. Freshman year at CMU, I'd hacked the registrar's database, not for grades, but to change a dean's record after he tanked my advisor's tenure bid. Petty revenge for a mentor's firing. Got caught. Probation. The works. Victor had dug it up during onboarding. Used it as leverage. We all have skeletons. Alex. Keep mine buried. I'll keep yours. The Detroit cover-up was just the latest chain in his game. Now, with the virus loose, his empire teetered. But mine? Shattered. By midnight, LinkedIn exploded. Alex Harper. Ex-Nexus. Wanted for questioning. No. Not yet. But the feds would come. Cybercrime Division. Probably out of Quantico. Tracing the IP I'd routed through Tor and a VPN in Estonia. Solid. But not ironclad. Sleep evaded me on the red eye. Turbulence mirroring my gut. Cleveland greeted me with gray slush and a biting wind off Lake Erie. The kind that seeps into bones. Mom picked me up in her '09 Corolla. Eyes widening at my duffel. Alex? What in God's name? Long story. Ma. We drove to the house in Parma. A split-level rancher sagging under decades of salt rust winters. Dad's silhouette in the window. Staring at nothing. Alzheimer's had stolen him piece by piece. Last visit. He called me Sonny, like I was a stranger. Inside. The smell of percolated coffee and Vicks VapoRub wrapped around me like a shroud. Over breakfast, oatmeal lumpy as regret, Mom grilled me gently. Job troubles? That fancy California place. I spun a half-truth. Layoff. Market crash. She bought it. Bought them my hunt. You'll land on your feet. Smart as you are. Smart. The word mocked me as I set up in the basement. Dad's old ham radio corner, now my war room. Multiple monitors scavenged from eBay. Humming to life. Nexus's feeds. Victor in damage control. Presser at dawn denying internal irregularities. Lies. Layered thick. But the internet didn't forget. Reddit's r/technology lit up. Nexus AI demo sabotage, hero or hacker? Thread split. Half hailed me as whistleblower. The other decried corporate terrorism. Polarizing. Just as I'd coded it. Jenna called from a block number. Alex. You idiot. FBI's at the office. Victor's pinning it all on you. The firing. The virus. Everything. Her voice cracked. Background noise of typing frantic. He showed them your instability file. The hacked college thing. My blood iced. How'd he? Doesn't matter. Get a lawyer. Or run. Click. Run. The word echoed as I pored over news. Victims' families suing Nexus. Class action brewing. Victor's face on CNBC. Defiant. This is the work of a disgruntled ex-employee. Will prosecute to the fullest. Disgruntled. Understatement of the century. But the twist nod. Was I the villain here? The virus hadn't just exposed Victor. It had doxed innocents. Low-level coders at Nexus, now doxed by trolls. One tweet storm targeted poor Raj from DevOps. His kid's school photo circulating. Collateral. My doing. Days blurred into a haze of takeout pizza and code dives. I patched a freelance gig site, VPN'd through proxies, earning beer money while monitoring the fallout. Victor lawyered up. But cracks showed, insider leaks to Bloomberg about his questionable overrides. The board ousted him quietly, golden parachute notwithstanding.
Sweet? No. Hollow.
Then, the knock. 2 suits at the door, badges gleaming. Mr. Harper, FBI. We need to talk about Nexus AI. Mom's face paled upstairs. I stepped out, rain pattering on the porch like accusations. About time. They cuffed me loose. More questions than chains. Interrogation room in the Cleveland field office smelled of stale donuts and desperation. Agent Ruiz. Latina. Sharp-eyed. You embedded that backdoor. Why? Truth, I said, staring at the two-way mirror. He betrayed me. Us.
She leaned in.
And the college hack? You think that makes you clean?
No.
Nothing did. Bail came courtesy of a GoFundMe Jenna launched, Justice for Alex. The real Echo, $47,000 in 48 hours. Heroes online. Villains offline. Released to Mom's tearful hug. I vanished into the Rust Belt underbelly. Burner phones. Cash jobs at a machine shop in Akron. Welding sparks flew like my frayed nerves. Each arc a reminder of circuits shorted. Victor resurfaced in a podcast. Voice velvet over venom. Alex was brilliant but broken. This isn't revenge, it's tragedy. Tragedy. He'd scripted mine. Now played the martyr. Listeners ate it up. Sympathy for the fallen tech king. But I wasn't done. The virus had a phase 2, dormant deeper in Echo's remnants. Triggered by his next big move, a pivot press conference, salvaging Nexus under new management. I'd attend, ghost-like, and flip the switch. Fate, or folly, intervened. A tip from Jenna. He's coming for you. Private jet to CLE tomorrow. Personal reconciliation. Reconciliation. The word slithered like the virus. I prepped the basement. Traps digital and analog. Door reinforced. .38 from a pawn shop. Ohio's open carry a grim perk. As night fell, thunder rumbling like unmet promises, I waited. Headlights pierced the dark. Victor's rental Tesla purred to a stop. He stepped out, trench coat flapping, alone. No entourage. Alex, he called, voice carrying. Let's talk. Man to man. I opened the door, gun heavy in pocket. Enter. Inside. Under the jaundiced bulb. We faced off. Him. Polished ruin me. Hollowed avenger. You destroyed everything, he said, eyes flicking to Dad's empty chair. My career. The company. Your greed, I countered. The breach.
Detroit. He sighed.
Theatrical. I fixed it. Gave those families settlements. Off books.
Lies.
But the hook. Why me? Why bury me? A pause. Then the flip, the villain's mask slipping. Because you knew too much. Not just the code. The other thing. The college hack?
No. Deeper.
My pulse thrummed. Victor's revelation hung in the air like exhaust from his Tesla. Thick and toxic. He peeled off his coat, draping it over Mom's Afghan like he owned the place, a conqueror's casual desecration. The basement door creaked open behind us, a draft whispering secrets. Sit, I said, gesturing to the sagging couch where Dad used to watch Brown's games, muttering at fumbles.
He did.
Legs crossed, that Harvard poise unbroken. You think the breach was my first override? Echo wasn't just market prediction. Alex.
It was.
More. His voice dropped, conspiratorial, as if we were back in Palo Alto, brainstorming over IPAs. But this was Cleveland, where dreams rusted and trust was a fool's currency. I stayed standing, hand brushing the .38's grip. Spit it out. The algorithm. You built it on public data, right? SEC filings, news feeds. A nod. But I layered in private streams. From friends in D.C. Insider whispers on policy shifts, mergers before announcements, insider trading, dressed as innovation. I'd suspected, seen anomalies in the training sets, but chalked it to proprietary enhancements. Naive. And I pressed, though acid rose in my throat. The college hack? Child's play compared to what you covered for me. He leaned forward, elbows on knees, eyes locking mine blue on blue. Mirrors of betrayal. Echo predicted the 2024 election swing. Not markets, votes. We sold the model to a PAC. Anonymous. Funneled dark money to swing state bots. Your code, Alex. Tweaked by me, but yours at the core. The room tilted. 2024, the closest election in history. Recounts in Georgia. Militias in Michigan. I'd followed it from the coast. Numb from jet lag. Dismissing conspiracy threads as QAnon fever dreams. But Nexus? Victor? You rigged it, not rigged. Influenced.
Subtly. Equinage that spends.
Targeted psyops. Won by 0.3% in key districts. He smiled. Faint.
Proud.
Billions in contracts followed. Defense. Energy. You took the fall for the glitch that leaked voter data, framed as Russian interference. Kept the heat off us. My knees buckled. I sank into the armchair. Gun forgotten. The incident wasn't a bug, it was a feature. I'd lied to Congress under oath. Per his script. Claiming a foreign hack.
Perjury.
Treason adjacent. For what? His yacht fund? Why tell me now? Voice hoarse. Like sandpaper on rust. Because you're the only one who can fix it.
Fix.
The word from a man who'd broken everything. Nexus is salvaging new CEO. Rebrand as ethical AI. But the old servers still hold the election logs. If they surface. He trailed off. Implication clear. Mutually assured destruction. Upstairs. Mom's footsteps padded, insomnia's haunt. Dad's cough echoed faintly. This wasn't just revenge, it was a hydra. Heads multiplying. You fired me to silence me, I realized aloud. The demo crash? Collateral to bury the real dirt. Smart boy. Patronizing. Always. But you went nuclear. Now the board wants blood, yours and mine. I need your backdoor key to wipe it clean. In exchange, immunity. I testify you were coerced. Unstable but innocent. Innocent. The lie tasted like the motel coffee. I laughed again.
Bitter.
And the families? Detroit widows get a check. Election meddlers walk. Life's gray. Alex. Black and white gets you killed. He stood, offering a hand, broker's seal. I ignored it. Mind racing. Phase 2 of Judas, not destruction, but dissemination. One command, and the election logs beamed to WikiLeaks. ProPublica. Every watchdog from the Times to TikTok sleuths. Controversy incarnate. America's sacred vote. Tainted by silicon sorcery. Heroes? Villains? The public would fracture, half decrying deep state tech, half shrugging as politics as usual. No deal. The words escaped before reason caught up. His face hardened, the flip complete. From ally to adversary in a breath. Then you're done. I have your prints on everything, the gun in your pocket? Traced to a Nexus slush fund. Nice touch. Planting it. Bluff. Or trap. Paranoia spiked. I drew the .38. Steady despite the tremor. Out. He backed toward the door. Hands raised, mock surrender. Think it over. 24 hours. I'll be at the Ritz in Cleveland Circle. Door clicked shut. Taillights fading into the night. Alone. I slumped. Gun clattering to the floor. Mom descended. Robe clutched. Eyes wide at the piece. Jesus.
Alex.
What have you done? Fixed a mistake.
Ma. Lie.
Escalated a war. Dawn broke slate gray. Snow flurries dusting the lawn like confetti from a funeral. I drove to the library, public Wi-Fi. Anonymous researching. Victor's pack ties. Shell companies in Delaware. Donations to both parties for cover. Echo's footprint in 2024. Subtle. But seismic. A swing in Ohio ads. My home state. Tipping scales. Dad had voted absentee. Did my code unseat his choice? Guilt gnawed. But resolve hardened. I texted Jenna. Logs real. Election rig. Help me leak. Her reply. Holy shit. On it. But Alex, run. He's not alone. Too late. By noon, shadows multiplied. Black SUVs idling across the street. Plates Ohio DMV but vibes federal. Victor's play, flush me out. I bolted through the backyard. Over fences slick with ice. Lungs burning. Alleyways twisted like code branches, dumping me at a bus depot. Greyhound to Pittsburgh. $29 cash. The ride north was purgatory, diesel fumes. Crying kids. My reflection in the window, a haunted stranger. Pittsburgh welcomed with steel ghosts and river mist. Crashed at a hostel in the Strip District, bunk above a snoring backpacker. Night brought dreams. Victor's face morphing to Dad's. Echo's interface overlaying ballot boxes. Crashing in binary rain. Morning. Burner to Jenna. Chords for drop. Encrypted drive with key. She sent a dead drop spot in DC, reflecting pool. Under a bench. Risky, but necessary. Leak the logs. Then vanish. Canada? Mexico? Or deeper underground? Dark web nomad. But Victor anticipated. At the depot.
Hotel, nondescript sedan.
Driver in shades. I lost him in the incline funicular. Tourists oblivious. Heart pounding. I hit a cyber cafe. Routing through proxies. Phase 2 armed. Logs packaged. Time-stamped. Irrefutable. One upload to a mirror site. And boom, global. Hesitation gripped. Controversial didn't cover it. Expose the rig. And faith in democracy craters. Protests. Recounts. Maybe martial law whispers. Or nothing, another Snowden footnote. Buried by algorithm overlords. My thumb hovered over enter. Enter. By evening, it hit anon-paste bins, then mainstream. Leaked. AI firm rigged 2024 election? CNN Sheeran. Victor's photo mugshot style. Chaos erupted, Twitter or X. Whatever Elon called it now, a battlefield. Echogate trended. Patriots raging. Libs decrying fascism. Techies debating ethics. Polarizing perfection. Jenna, you're viral. Good and bad. Feds inbound. I ghosted to a flop house in Lawrenceville. Walls thin as lies. News looped. Victor in custody. Denying all. Fabrications by a fugitive. Fugitive.
Me.
Then. The call from an unknown. Ruiz. The agent. Harper?
Turn yourself in.
We can protect you.
Protect.
From what? The Hydra's teeth. What's the offer? Deal with the DOJ. Testify against Slade. Your hack? Sealed juvenile. Tempting. Clean slate. Maybe. But trust? Shattered like the demo screen. No, I said. I'm finishing this.
Click.
Night deepened. Sirens wailing distant. Victor's trial loomed, spectacle of the decade. I'd be the star witness. Or the escaped villain. Choice mine. But the real twist? In the logs. A footnote. My initial commit. The ethical filter I'd disabled myself. To speed training. Impress Victor.
Complicity.
My code. My sin. Dawn brought decision. Bus to DC. Face the music. The megabus to DC was a rolling sardine can, sweatsock air. Wi-Fi that sputtered like a dying engine. Passengers zoned into TikToks of Echo Gate meltdowns. I huddled in the back. Hoodie up. Scrolling feeds on the burner. The leak had metastasized, congressional hearings announced. Subpoenas flying like confetti at a doomsday party. Victor's bail denied, flight risk. The judge quipped. To his private island.
Ha.
The man who'd summered in Nantucket now rotted in a federal holdover. Silk ties swapped for orange jumpsuits. My face pixelated across CNN. Grainy photo from CMU. Eyes wide with freshman fire. Caption, the coder who cracked America? Comments below a cesspool, half American hero, half traitorous hack. Polarizing. Yeah. A Verge op-ed nailed it. Harper's revenge exposes the rot. But at what cost? One man's catharsis. Democracy's hangover.
Cost.
The word looped as we crossed the Mason-Dixon. Billboards for crab shacks blurring into beltway sprawl. Mia texted from an old number. Unblocked in weakness. Saw the news. Call me? Still care. Mia? The ex who'd left when Nexus swallowed my soul. Part of me ached. Another sneered. Too late for olive branches. DC hit like a fever dream. Monuments marble white under December sleet. Tourists bundled against the chill. Oblivious to the storm I'd unleashed. I ditched the bus at Union Station. Melting into the throng. Jenna's drop. National Mall. Bench by the Lincoln Memorial. Ironic. Freeing slaves while I unchained truths. I palmed the USB. Sleek as a bullet. Logs encrypted but ready. planted it under the slats. Heart jackhammering. A jogger passed. Was he fed? Paranoia. Gift of the hunted. From there, a cash metro to Foggy Bottom. Crashing at a no-questions Airbnb in Georgetown. Row house garret. View of the Potomac churning dark. Host was a lobbyist type. Out schmoozing. I barricaded the door with a chair, brewed Folgers strong as regret, and planned the testimony. If I turned, DOJ's offer tempted. Immunity for the hack. Witness protection. New name. New life, maybe teaching code in some podunk community college, far from valley vultures. But Victor's shadow loomed. His lawyers, Williams and Connolly heavyweights, already spinning. Slayed victim of cyberstalking by unstable ex-employee. Unstable. The label stuck. A virus of its own. I dug into public records. Old Nexus filings. Buried clause my equity. Vested early if I stayed 5 years. Fired pre-vest.
Poof, gone.
He timed it perfect. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of code compiling into chains. Woke to pounding, not fist, but news alerts. Hearing forward, tomorrow. Rayburn House Office Building. Subpoena for me. Issued post-leak. Material witness. Dodge it. And contempt charges stack like Jenga. Decision crystallized over burnt toast. Testify. Not for deal, but detonation. Full truth, my complicity. Victor's web. Echoes sins. Let the public judge. Controversial? Let juries form. Factions clash. America thrived on it, Watergate to Weinstein. Dressed in thrift store chinos and a button-down stiff as cardboard, I cabbed to the Hill. Security theater. Metal detectors beeping. Pat-downs probing. Escorted to a holding pen, green room for the damned, where Ruiz waited, pantsuit crisp. Glad you came in, Harper. Smart. Curious, I corrected. What's Slade saying? She flipped a tablet. Deposition clips. Victor. Composed in pinstripes. Decrying betrayal by a protege I tried to save.
Protege.
The word twisted like a knife. He claims you planted the election module yourself. Ambitious ploy gone wrong.
Bastard.
Flipping the script, me the mastermind, him the dupe. And the firing? Stress response. Your erratic behavior, post-breach. Lies layered. But his eyes in the video? Flickering.
Fear.
The hearing chamber was a wood-paneled coliseum, C-SPAN cameras humming. Reps and flag pins preening for posterity. Gavel cracked, Chairman Ellis. Grizzled Texan with a drawl like molasses. Called order. We convene on the matter of artificial intelligence's role in electoral integrity. First witness. Alexander Harper. Flashbulbs popped as I sworn in. Hand steady on the Bible, irony. Invoking truth's arbiter. Oath taken. I scan the gallery. Reporters scribbling. Activists glaring, some with Justice for Detroit signs. Victor absent. But his ghost loomed via proxy. Counsel objecting before I spoke. Mr. Harper. Ellis drawled. You developed Echo's core. Walk us through the betrayal. Betrayal. The word unlocked it. I spoke. Voice even. Painting Palo Alto in broad strokes. The poach. The promises. The nights blurring into dawn. Victor Slade wasn't just boss. He was mentor. Until the breach. Probes followed. Dems softballing ethics. GOP hammering deep state angles. I detailed the override. My cover-up. The firing's midnight sting. gasps at the demo crash description. Code unspooling like guts on stage. A rep from California.
Tech beror lite.
Leaned in. Heroic whistleblowing. Or corporate sabotage. Both, I admitted. Revenge-fueled truth. But the truth stands alone. Lunch recess. Sandwich uneaten. Stomach knotted. Jenna slipped in. Incognito in a scarf. You're trending. Harper Hero versus Cyberterror. Hug brief.
Fierce.
Victor's team is shredding you online. Deepfakes of you ranting. College hack amplified. Deepfakes. The irony. AI birthing more lies. Afternoon resumed. Cross-exam by Slade Shark. A silver fox named Hargrove. You embedded malware. Mr. Harper. Illegal. Yes. Backdoor for access. Activated post-termination. Post? Or pre-planned vendetta? He produced emails forged. My login. Time-stamped plotting the virus. Instability. Indeed. Doubt rippled, reps murmuring. Cameras zooming. My complicity surfaced. The filter disable. A mistake, I conceded. To impress. But Slade exploited it. Hargrove pounced. Exploited? Or elevated? Without your ambition.
No hecho.
The chamber hushed. Polarizing peak. Am I fallen angel or devil's apprentice? Session ended abrupt. Continued tomorrow. Escorted out. Ruiz murmuring. Hold the line. Leaks confirm your story. Night in protective custody. A bland hotel off 14th. Detail outside. TV droned. Pundits debating. Harper's twist. Coder as kingmaker? Mia called again. Answered this time. Alex. It's insane. Come home to me. Home. The word cracked something.
Can't.
Too deep. Deep? You're drowning. Tears.
Hers.
Hung up. Chest tight. Dawn brought round 2. Victor. Extradited. Testifying remote. Screen flickered. He looked gaunt. Charm frayed. Alex was brilliant. Volatile. The election? Mischaracterization. Predictive modeling. Not manipulation.
Lies.
My rebuttal. Logs projected. Commits dissected. Your override. Victor. Admit it. He met my gaze through pixels. Flip again, pleading now. I protected you. From yourself. Protected. The hearing devolved. Shouts. Gavels. A Michigan rep. Widow's kin from Detroit. Tore into him. My constituents ruined. By your protection.
Chaos reigned.
Adjourned in uproar. Post-hearing. Deal formalized. Immunity. Protection. But as I signed, twist hit. Ruiz is aside. Slade cut a plea. Fingers you as co-conspirator. Logs. He claims you fabricated. Fabricated. The hydra bit its tail. Rage surged. But exhaustion won. Let him rot. Relocation papers. New ID. Pacific Northwest gig, software ethics prof at a small college in Oregon. Cleanish. But the debate raged online. Justice served. Or tech witch hunt. My story. Fuel for campfires. Epilogue tease. Months later. Anonymous tip. Victor's Island deeds. Darker still. Phase 3?
No.
Some viruses die quiet. Or do they? Oregon rain was a constant companion, soft. Relentless. Washing the East Coast grime from my bones. The college town of Ashland hugged the Siskiyous. All craft breweries and Shakespeare festivals. A world away from Silicon's Shark Tank. New name, Ethan Cole. Adjunct professor in the comp sci department, lecturing on ethical algorithms to wide-eyed undergrads who thought GDPR was a band. Immunity shielded me. The DOJ's seal stamped my slate clean, or close enough. Victor's plea deal landed him 18 months in a low SEC club fed. They called it, with golf and guilty whispers. Echo, rebranded as Harmony AI, stripped of its fangs, now peddling eco-predictions for green VCs. But peace? Elusive as dry skies. Nights in the Craftsman rental, creaky floors. View of furs dripping, brought flashbacks, the demo's digital evisceration. Victor's pixelated denial. I'd won. Sort of. Echo Gate faded to footnote. Spawning think pieces and in Netflix docuseries, Code of Shadows, the man who hacked democracy. Royalties trickled in. Enough for the house down payment. Mia visited once. Tentative bridge over chasm. Proud of you, she'd said, but her eyes scanned for ghosts. We tried. Dinners at farm-to-table spots. Hikes where Douglas firs whispered absolution. But the fracture lingered. She left for Seattle. Space, the euphemism.
Teaching grounded me.
Classroom in a converted barn. Chalk dust and curiosity. Code isn't neutral. I'd lecture. Projecting Nexus slides, anonymize. Its power. Who wields it? Questions flew. Was revenge ethical?
Y de pausa.
The room holding breath. Ethics bend under pressure. But truth? It recompiles. Students divided me. Half saw whistleblower. Half cautionary tale. One kid, lanky with a man bun, cornered me post-class. Dude, you're like Snowden 2.0. Hero move. Another. Pre-law sharp. Vigilantism erodes rule of law. Polarizing.
Still.
It fueled debates. My office hours a mini-forum. Jenna thrived in the aftermath. QA to consultant. Exposing AI biases for the ACLU. We zoomed monthly. Her septum glinting. Victor's out in 6. Good behavior. Watching his ex. Radio silence. Silence from him. But ripples. Anonymous emails to my faculty inbox. Judas in subject lines. Harmless? Or harbinger? Spring quarter hit. Cherry blossoms defiant against drizzle. Guest lecture at Portland's tech meetup, irony. Preaching to ex-Nexus alums. Q&A turned tense. Regrets? A voice from the back.
Familiar timbre.
I scanned the crowd. There, Victor. Leaner. Hair silvered at temples. Clapping slow. Heart stuttered. None. I lied. Mic hot. Applause mixed with murmurs. Post-talk. He cornered me in the green room, craft coffee untouched.
Ethan.
Or Alex. Suits you.
No venom.
Just that velvet tone. Worn like a favorite scar. Leave. But curiosity chained me.
Can't.
We're linked. You and I. He sipped. Eyes on the window where Willamette churned. The plea? Partial truth. There's more.
More.
The hydra stirred.
Spill.
Echo wasn't alone. Other firms, OpenAI derivatives, Chinese knockoffs, ran similar plays. 2024 was test run. 2026 midterms? Scaled.
Scaled.
My stomach dropped. I took the fall to protect the network. Your leak? Bought time. But they're regrouping. Network. Plural. Victor. Not Apex but Node.
Who?
Names?
Power.
Senators.
CEOs.
You exposed a tentacle. He leaned in. Conspiratorial. Join me. Fix it from inside.
Join.
The flip, villain to visionary. Laughable, but his eyes held no jest. Why me? Because you broke it. Only you can rebuild ethical. Ethical. The word from a manipulator's mouth. I walked. Rain slicking the streets. Home. I pored over old drives. Echo remnants. Anomalies hinting at federated learning, cross-model chatter. He wasn't bluffing. The rig was ecosystem, not solo act. Sleep evaded. Mia's text glowed. Heard Victor's in town. Careful. Careful. Too late. Days later. Anomaly. Student paper flagged plagiarism. But code snippets matching Echo's ghost.
Kid denied.
Thierry. Found it online. Dark web auction. Auction. Someone peddling the algo. Paranoia peaked. I drove to Crater Lake, seeking clarity in Caldera's blue maw. Hiked the rim trail, boots crunching pumice, wind scouring thoughts. Regret? For the crash. Yes, innocence scorched. But the truth? Worth the inferno. Back. Package on porch, no postmark. USB inside. Victor's handwriting. Watch. Video file. Grainy feed of a server farm in Nevada. Drones humming. Texts in black loading crates. Narration, his voice. The network persists. Help stop it. Trap? Or Olive? I forwarded to Jenna. Verify. Her reply. Real. Feds know. Want you as asset. Asset. Spy games now. The plot thickened. Thriller turning espionage.
Refuse el verd.
No. But curiosity, damn it, won. Meet at the lake house. His rental. Neutral ground.
Twilight descent.
Pines silhouetted. Victor waited on the deck. Bourbon in hand. You came. Curiosity. .38 in ankle holster. Oregon's lax laws a perk. He poured. Handed over. The network. Codename Orion. Echo was beta.
Now.
They're targeting 2028, full spectrum. Global. Global. Elections worldwide.
Ai pupetering populists.
And you? Saint now. Converted.
Pause.
Your demo crash? Broke me. In holding, I confessed, all to a priest. Then a guard with connections. Connections. Always. Proof. Docs on the table. Whistleblower affidavits.
Signed.
Join. We dismantle from core. Temptation nod. Redemption arc? Or deeper web. Night fell. Stars pricking velvet sky. We talked code till dawn. Flaws in Orion. Backdoors possible. Dawn brought decision. Tentative yes. But betrayal again? I end you.
Deal.
Handshake. Firm. Months blurred. Covert meets in basements. Code sprints via encrypted VMs. Jenna looped in. Trio against the machine. Progress. Infiltrated a node in Austin. Exfiltrating models. Thrills. Like old Nexus days. Minus the lies. But controversy brewed. Leaks intentional. Sparked media. Harper teams with Slade. Heroes or hybrids? Pundits split. Redemption or recidivism. Twist midsummer. Raid gone wrong. Austin Data Center. Our hack triggers alarms. Fed swarm. Not ours.
Rival faction.
Victor grazed by rubber bullet. Eye bolt. Leg clipped. Hospital anonymity. Stitched under alias. He visits. Bandaged. Close. 2. Doubt creeps. His connections tipped them. Recovery slow. Mia returns. Nurse mode. Soothing. This life?
Kill you.
Maybe. But Orion loomed. Fall quarter. Classes resume. But focus fractures. Student whispers. Prof's a legend. Legend. Burden. Then. The call Ruiz. Slade's playing you. Networks his baby. Infiltrate to control. Flip again. Victor. Double agent. Confrontation. Lake house. Storm raging. Truth. Gun drawn.
He sighs.
Rain lashing windows. Half. I built Orion post-plea. To own it.
Owned.
The betrayal cycles. Struggle. Fists. Furniture splintering. I pin him. Barrel to temple. Why? Power. Yours too. Once. Madness in eyes.
Shot? No.
Call Ruiz. He's yours. Cuffs click. Victor laughs. You'll join me. Inevitable. Extradition. Headlines. Harper betrays betrayer. Public devours. Hero loop closes. But seed planted. Orion's code. Memorized. My new project. Winter clamped Ashland in ice. The Siskius a white barricade against escape. Victor's arrest dominated feeds. Tech tycoons double-cross. But the narrative twisted fast. His confession painted me as unwitting pawn. Ethan Cole's zeal exploited by Slade's scheme.
Zeal.
Polite for revenge junkie. DOJ commended my civic action. Ruiz even sent a fruit basket. Cliché cover for keep quiet. Mia stayed. Our nights tangled in flannel sheets. Her warmth thawing the frost in my chest. Build something good, she'd murmur. Tracing scars from the Austin scrape. Good. The word mocked. But I tried. Spring thaw brought green shoots, literal and figurative. I expanded the course to a seminar. AI and power. Guest spots from ethicists. Even a hacker collective from Berkeley. Students thrived. Projects probing bias in hiring bots. One girl, Kira, presented a filter mimicking my old Echo safeguard. Prevents manipulative outputs. Pride swelled. Legacy. Untainted. But Orion haunted. Victor's memorized code fragments nod. A virus in my mind. Late nights.
Laptop glowing.
I'd sketch countermeasures. Decentralized checks. Blockchain verified decisions. Open source it? Risky. Poachers abound. Sell to a firm? Betrayal redux. Jenna visited. Road trip from Portland. Over IPAs at the Standing Stone. She grilled. Slade's trial in June. Testify. Again? Weariness heavy. Must. Seal the narrative. Narrative. Our lives. Scripted for clicks. Trial in San Jose Federal Court. Neutral turf. Valley ghosts. I flew coach. Hoodie armor.
Mia slingering.
Courtroom sterile. Jury box filled with diverse faces. Tech workers. Retirees. A nurse eyeing me sympathetic. Victor entered. Shackled subtle. Suit tailored. Our eyes met. His wink. Conspiratorial.
Chill.
Testimony day. Direct from the prosecutor. A bulldog named Patel.
Dr. Cole.
Described the Orion infiltration. I detailed meets. Hacks. The betrayal. Slade used my access, post-echo skills, to seed the network. Voice steady, but gut churned. Crossed by his new team, Fresh Sharks, you initiated contact.
Did you not?
Vengeful collaboration. Redemption, I countered. He twisted it. Jury murmurs. Polarizing again, my zeal is fuel? Victor took the stand. Oscar-worthy. Ethan sought me out. Haunted by his demo crash. Desperate for absolution. I offered guidance. He saw empire. Lies.
Slick.
Emails projected forged chain. My eager replies. Objection overruled. Doubt seated in the box. Recess. Mia in the hall. Hand squeeze. You're enough.
Enough.
Closing arguments thundered. Patel on conspiracy's cancer. Defense on innovation stifled by paranoia. Verdict. Guilty. But light, 5 years. Concurrent. Victor's smile as sentenced. See you on the other side. Media frenzy post. Harper's haunted victory. Op-eds debated. Vigilante justice or virtuous cycle. I retreated to Ashland. Rain welcoming. Summer idle. Mia and I road-tripped the coast. Big Sur cliffs. Sea otters mocking gravity. Marry me? She asked at Pfeiffer Beach. Purple sands underfoot.
Shop? Joy.
Yes. Ring simple. From a Carmel jeweler, promise. Not possession. But autumn winds carried whispers.
Kira.
My star student. Dropped by office. Professor. Found this in Orion leaks. USB. Files mirroring Victor's fragments. Auctioned again. Chinese buyers. Heart sank. Hydra regrows. I dove in.
Code autopsy.
Mutations. Faster.
Stealthier.
Targeting 2026 locals, school boards. Mayors. Small. But scalable. My counter. A hunter-killer script. Phoenix. To burn infected nodes. Risk. Deploying meant exposure. DOJ warned off. Extrajudicial. But inaction?
Complicity.
Jenna co-opted. We do it quiet. Trio -1. Builds in my garage. Amid Mia's canning jars. Phoenix compiled. Elegant lethality. Launch midnight. Full moon mocking. Success initial. Nodes fried in Atlanta.
Mumbai. Fidzli, mystery malware it's rogai.
Hero anonymous. But blowback. Traced to my IP, sloppy proxy. Feds knock. Ruiz stern. Stand down.
Coal.
Orion's ours now.
Ours.
Government net? Trust eroded. Mia confronts. This obsession, it's him again. Victor in your head. Truth stung. Protecting us. Future. Future starts here. Ultimatum soft. But steel.
Pause.
Phoenix mothballed. Winter holidays. Family in Ohio. Mom's tree twinkling. Dad's eyes flickering recognition. Sunny. Close enough. Mia fits. Laughing at pierogi mishaps. New Year. Resolution teach.
Love.
Let go. But February package.
No sender.
Video. Victor. Prison gray. Phoenix. Clever. But you missed ahead. Screen splits. Ashland Town Hall. Hacked feed predicting vote swings. My seminar's case study. Weaponized. Rage reignited. He orchestrated from bars. Call to Jenna. Gear up. War round 3. The Ashland hack was surgical. A town council vote on a wind farm. Echo, or Orion's, whispers tipping it to fossil fuel cronies. Local paper buried it as glitch. but I saw the signature. Victor's lazy override. My code's echo. Prison walls didn't mute him. He networked deeper. Inmates with outside lines. Lawyers as couriers. Mia's ring felt heavier as I drove to the station. Her plea, don't, ringing. Sheriff's office, small-town charm. Coffee-ringed desks. Deputy Hale, mustache walrus thick, humored my consult. AI mumbo-jumbo.
Ethan.
Votes are votes. Look closer. I pulled feeds on my tablet. Anomalous ad spends. Targeted Facebook dark posts, swaying undecideds. Manipulation. He scratched chin. Feds lane. Call Ruiz.
Did.
Her voice crackled. Victor's spilling to barter down. Name's a ghost coder. You. Denial futile. He's baiting. Stay put. We'll handle. Handle. Like Echo's breach? Home. Mia waited. Wine poured. Tell me it's over. Wish I could. Confession spilled. Phoenix. The heads. Her face fell, love to fear.
Choose. Ethan.
Us or this. Choice gutted. Us.
But sleep? No.
Garage midnight oil. Tweaking Phoenix for local nets. Jenna arrived dawn. Prius packed with servers. Road trip. Track the signal. Mia's goodbye kiss. Come back whole. We hit I-5 north. Range sheeting. Jenna drove. Me coding shotgun. Signal trace to a P.O. box in Eugene, shell for a consulting firm. Orion affiliate. Stakeout, coffee shop across. Hipsters oblivious. Courier emerged, hoodie, satchel. We tailed to a co-work space. Buzzing with startups. Infill, Jenna's social engineer charm. Forgot my keycard. Inside. Server rack humming. Plugged in. Phoenix purred, nodes mapping. Vulnerabilities probed. Alert blared. Guards, rent-a-cops. Tasers drawn. Dash, fire exit. Alley sprint. Heart thunder. But drive intact. Partial map. 17 nodes. DC hub. Motel debrief. Adrenaline crash. Jenna. Victor's endgame? Control from cage. Pardon via dirt.
Dirt.
On whom? Us. Back Ashland. Mia's relief palpable. Wedding plans. Spring. Backyard. Wildflowers. Normalcy anchor. But nodes activated. School board in Bend rigged. Progressive slate sunk. Protests erupted. Parents chanting. Signs AI out. Media sniffed. Echo Gate 2.0? Ruiz calls. Testify again. Slade's hearing on commutation. Commutation. Victor's play. Spill Orion for freedom. San Quentin visitor room. Plexiglass divide. His face aged. Eyes alight.
Ethan.
Wedding?
Congrats.
Cut it. Mike hot. Guard looming. Help me. Testify to my cooperation.
Pardon.
We got Orion together. Together. Venom sweet. Why believe you? Because you're me, broken builder.
Pause.
The original sin? Your filter disable. I didn't force, you volunteered. Truth lashed. Leverage. Symbiosis. He slid paper under glass, node list. DC chords. Last chance. Walked out. List burning pocket. Wedding day. April bloom. Ashland Hills green. Mia radiant. Vows exchanged under oaks.
Vows.
Mine. Forsake shadows.
Kiss sealed.
Cheers rose. Honeymoon. Cabin in Crater Lake. Isolation bliss. Hikes. Stars. Her head on chest. Happy.
Whole.
Lie half. Return. Adjunct year end. Tenure offer. Phoenix itched, but buried. June hearing, DC. Virtual victor. I testified neutral. Slade's intel valuable. But motive suspect. Commutation denied. 5 holds. His reaction? Smirk off screen. Summer peace fractured August, Mia pregnant.
Test stick pink.
Joy explosive. Our future. Future. Phoenix repurposed. Ethical tool for local governors. Open source. But September. Node surge. Midterm mocks rigged in swing states. My code's ghost. Laughing. Jenna. One last op. DC hub. Mia's ultimatum. Go. End it. For us. Flight east. Resolve steel. DC under siege. Midterm fever. Barricades at the Capitol. Hub. Nondescript warehouse in Anacostia. Guards private. Infill solo. Jenna backup virtual. Inside. Servers whirring. Techs in hoodies. Plugged Phoenix. Cascade initiated. Nodes fried chain reaction. Or ion crumbling. Alarms wail. Escape roof. Fire escape slick. Leap to adjacent. Ankle twist pain lancing. Street. Sirens converge.
Ruiz fun. Get in.
Debrief. You torched it. Clean.
Clean.
Victor's final call from cell. Proud. But heads regrow.
Click.
Home. Mia's belly swell. Ultrasound heartbeat. Life's code. Compiling. But twist. Nursery monitor hacks. Ghost feed. Victor's voice. Daddy's legacy. Paranoia? Or real? I Arm Phoenix Home Edition. War Eternal. The nursery hack was no glitch, a looped whisper from Victor's prison audio. Legacy. Synced to the heartbeat monitor's beep. Mia laughed it off as stress. But I rewired the system overnight. Phoenix tendrils snaking through smart home veins. Ashlyn's quaint wired for war now. Cameras vigilant. Alerts pinging my watch. Fatherhood loomed. Ultrasounds showing tiny fists. Kicks like code commits, and with it, the weight of inheritance. What legacy for this kid? Builder or breaker? Midterms came bloody, or iron remnants flipped 3 House seats. Recounts mired in lawsuits. My anonymous tips to election boards, via Jenna's proxies, flagged the anomalies. Flipping 2 back. Headlines hailed guardian angels, but whispers pointed. Harper's hand. Polarizing endgame. Savior or string puller. Victor's appeal hit winter. Habeas corpus. Claiming new evidence of DOJ bias.
Me.
The bias. Hearing in Frisco. Mia, 8 months. Waddling support. Court packed. Victims' families glaring. Tech journos live tweeting. Judge Harlan. No-nonsense widow from the Valley Crash era. Ida Stern. Prosecution. Slade's manipulations persist. Even incarcerated. Defense. Harper's vendetta fabricates threats. Orion? Meth. My testimony. Final stand. It's real. Nodes active post-arrest. Exhibits. Logs. My garage builds. Victor remote. Face haggard. Ethan lies. Obsessed. Cross. You hacked my appeals filings.
Did you not?
Did I? Phoenix auto-defend. Sniffing intrusions. Protected. Jury. Tech-savvy this time. Deliberated hours. Verdict. Appeal denied. Sentence maxed. Victor's mic hot. This isn't over. Son. Son. The flip final. Father figure fallen. Post. Mia in labor en route home. Ashland Hospital. Snow blanketing pines. Lily born 3:17 a.m. Cry piercing as a system alert. Held her. Tiny against my chest. Future uncompiled. Months blurred. Diapers.
Colic symphonies.
Mia's glow. I tenured. Seminar booming. Now AI stewardship. Students like Kira graduated. Starting ethics startups. Jenna partnered. Firm exposing deepfakes. But shadows lingered. Lily's first laugh. Monitor glitches. Static. Victor's chuckle faint. Coincidence? Or his network? Tendrils from Club Fed? Summer road trip. Grand Canyon. RV rumbling. Mia drove. Lily cooing rear-facing. Free, she asked. Vermilion cliffs glowing. Almost. Phoenix portable. Scanning motels for hacks. Ranger talk at viewpoints. AI in parks? Predicting fires. I nodded. But mind mapped. Orion could rig conservation boats. Fall. Lily's crawl. My crawl back to code. Open-sourced Phoenix Core. Guardian Protocol. Licensed Creative Commons. Downloads surged. Activists. Governments. Controversy. Harper's Gift. Trojan or tonic? Critics pounced. Wired peace. Vigilantes virus. Empowering or enabling? Debates flared. Reddit AMAs. My handle anonymous. Victor's release loomed. Parole. Good ticks. Letter arrived. Prison stationery. Visit. Closure. Debate internal. Mia. End it. San Quentin. Visitor booth sterile. Him. Gray suit. Free but chained. Grandkid? Photos. None given. Why the games? Legacy taunts. Smile cracked.
Test.
You passed.
Pause.
Human flicker. Orion was mine.
Yes.
But post you? I fed the Fed's cords. From inside.
Fed?
The flip ultimate. Double agent. Proof. He slid envelope. DOJ memo. His cooperation stamped. Pardon pending. Your leak started it. My confession finished. Truth or ploy? Eyes met. No lies detected. Truce. Hand to glass. Hesitation. Truce.
Out.
Air sweet. Called Ruiz. Verified. Victor. Asset turned ally. Home. Lily's first word. Duh. Heartful. Years montage. Lily's school plays. Mia's novel published. Tech thriller. Thinly veiled. Guardian Protocol Global. Election safeguarded. AI leashed. But 2030 twist. New startup. Echo 2.0. Founders ex-Nexus. Victor Consults. Public now. Reformed poster boy. Invite to launch. Gala in Palo Alto. Mia. Go. Close circle. I did. Lily on hip. Stage. Demo hums. Ethical filters glowing. My design. Licensed. Victor MC. To Alex, Ethan, who crashed us to rebuild. Applause. Handshake real. Post bar. Scotch neat. Regrets. Some. Detroit faces. Mia's fears. You. None. Chaos births order. Order. American dream. Messy. Mended. Outside. Valley lights pulse. Lily yawns. Future bright. But in code. Always a backdoor. Just in case. Epilogue. Lily. 10. Hacks her first spot.
Daddy.
Teach me revenge. Redemption.
Kid.
Always. Fade to black. Debate eternal. Hero. Villain. Or human.